getting ready to record. Okay, so as we said, invocation mantra is the just giving a definition or explaining absolute truth in brief, basically. So there we saw how the absolute truth is complete and perfect, and whatever emanates from absolute truth for us, we know Krishna is also complete and perfect in terms of be it this world or be it the living entities or anything, animate, inanimate, everything is perfect. And also the spiritual world is also perfect. And then there is this nice last sentence that Prabhupada writes very nicely, perfectly, I would say, is even despite all the different emanations come out of the absolute truth, the absolute remains in complete balance. That's the terms he put together. Those two are like opposites, complete and balance. But he uses as complete and balance. So that is Krishna's beauty. And when we saw the breakdown of that, how each of these is complete, I think you may recollect how Krishna or Absolute Truth is complete because of the Satchidananda feature. Impersonal Brahman, comparing to impersonal Brahman or Paramatma, Bhagavan remains as a complete whole because all the realizations, Satchit, Ananda, everything we get from Bhagavan. The other levels kind of stop us at some place. It doesn't give us full satisfaction, full realization, even though they're also spiritual, but they just don't give us the sufficient satisfaction to feel complete, actually. So that's why. And then completeness of this material world, it's from Krishna's perspective, we are seeing, not from our perspective, because we will see things as incomplete because we feel it. But from the purpose behind the creation part of it is actually to make each. Hey, Haribol Akshaj, welcome.
Hare Krishna.
So, yeah, then there is description or this explanation that Prabhupada gives us how the schedules are set in motion, seasons are set in motion, day and night is set in motion. Nobody wakes up and if we wake up in our bedroom, we have to turn the light on, but Krishna doesn't just get up and just turn the sun on or something like that. It's all set in motion. So that way it's complete, and perfect. And then living entities, supposedly we all must be feeling complete, but we feel incomplete. Then the solution given is until, honestly, if we find our innate nature and innate connection with Krishna, then we feel fully complete. Until then, we are like in and out of this completeness, incompleteness feeling, So that's the invocation prayer. And then mantra 1, 2, 3 are about proprietorship of the Lord, basically, over everything. So mantra 1 is this famous verse, Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Meaning Isha avashyam here means controlled or owned. Isha is Lord. So Isha avashyam idam sarvam. Here everything, sarvam, is owned and controlled by the Lord. Yat kinch jagatyam jagat. This includes jagatyam, ajagatyam, meaning it's living, animate and inanimate, both. And knowing this, what are we supposed to do? Tena tektena bhunjita. Take only what is our quota. And then ma grida kashyas vidhanam. Do not encroach upon others' quota. We kind of like discussed a little bit about this quota, how to really determine what is our quota. Like it's then there was discussions about need versus greed. What's our need? Where does it become greed? Then also a principle is to just see that we have things that will keep us grounded, keep us peaceful. It's not about like somebody's need may not be someone else's need, basically. Like simple things like I need a chair. Somebody does, probably another person, they can sit on the ground. That's their need. This is my need to be somewhat, like focused, healthy, and I can just continue to practice my devotional service. Basically, whatever will support us in devotional service, even if it seems like luxury, just use it. But we should know why we are using what we're using. That's how the discussion went. Now, in the second verse is about if a living entity acknowledges the proprietorship of Krishna and acts according to it, or lives according to it, or tries to live according to it, even, what is the reward that the person gets? Third verse is about what if one does not acknowledge, where do they end up? Not exactly punishment, but it's like a roadmap. If you choose this is the destination. If you choose that, that's a destination, like that consequence. So now let me share the PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay. So mantra 2. Oh, I also want to share the verse. I don't have this. Okay. Let's read the verse also once. Okay. कुर्वनेवेह कर्माणि जिजिविषेच्छतं समा एवं त्वयि नान्यते तोस्ति न कर्मा लिप्यते नरे. Kurvan meanings, this kurvan means actually is when someone is doing something, like present tense basically. So doing continuously. Eva, thus, iha, during this span of life, doing this, thus acting or living or doing continuously during this span of life, because it's a continuation basically. Doing what? Living by the principle of Ishavasya. If one continues to live by the principle of Ishavasya in his lifespan, in her lifespan, one can desire to live hundreds of years, because the life becomes glorious. The whole life becomes glorious. So it's okay to live hundreds of years, and and such life actually relieves one from the karmic bondage. So we'll just read this. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if one continuously goes on working in that way. In what way? In Ishavasya way, meaning by appreciating and being conscious of Krishna's proprietorship. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There's no alternative to this way for a man or a woman, by the way. It's nothing like man, woman. Just written in that tense. So this is, if one wants to get out of this cycle, one has to do this, basically. So let us see now. Prabhupada, usually his initial statements are pretty captivating. I like the first sentence he uses. In many purports, actually, it becomes very interesting. He just starts the purport saying, no one wants to die. That's how he starts the purport. No one wants to die. So everyone wants to drag. That's how he writes, right? Yeah. Everyone wants to live as long as he can drag on. This tendency is visible not only individually but also collectively in the community, society, and nation. So this is how he starts. So I'm going to go to the PowerPoint now because the purport is long. Let's see. So this slide will cover almost everything that's there in the purport. Okay. All right. So the connection between mantra 1 and 2. Mantra 1 is about Ishavasya principle. Mantra 2 is reward or the destination of people who follow the Ishavasya principle. What is the destination or what's the reward? No bondage and eternal life. Basically, we feel there's this karma that's holding us tight right now. we won't feel the grip anymore. Like we all have some tendencies, right? Like I don't know, different tendencies. Feel this way, feel whatever. Feel some blocks that we have, correct? Like something like um, feelings of rejection. It's a trap, Sometimes we get into the trap of our emotional, network. And yeah, the other situation may cause it, but we somehow have it within. And where is it coming from? We have been carrying it for some of them, at least. We have been carrying it for lifetimes, like potato bag, like it's so, and then it's rotten potato bag. It's not even fresh, So it's pretty, and in Sanskrit, it's called as vasana. Vasana means smell. And rotten potato bag is like bad smell, So we just like carry that and walk around. And then we keep doing this and still we carry it. It has become like a pattern right now. So we'll be relieved of that patterns, conditioned patterns and conditioned challenges that we face and the blocks that we have in our life. That'll be, we'll get relieved of it when we can acknowledge or become conscious of Ishavasya principle, like, so it's not easy though. I'm just happily saying it, but it's not easy. But little doses we can try, small doses we can try. And this morning I was thinking, why do I have to get this purification all the time? I asked for it, but why? There's no break. It feels like give me like a commercial break or something. It's like too intense. But it's the pattern that is somehow rather and is trying to somehow help me out of that, get out of that pattern. So like that, some patterns hold us down, you know. Some time ago in Google, I came across a picture like some years ago actually. A butterfly is trying to fly, and then there's a thread that's connected to the butterfly's back, and it connects to a rock. So he's trying to fly, but this rock is connected, so he's not able to fly higher, Only until that rope goes, he can fly. So that rope is a karma. It gets, or the rope is the conditioned patterns that we see in our life, and the rock is like the karmic entanglement that just holds us down. So we are not able to be fully joyful. That's what it is, basically. So let's see here. Now, main points. Reward is relief from karma bandhana, meaning bondage with materialistic fruitive activities. And what is it? Like what does bondage do to us? I don't know if you have seen any reincarnation movies and all that. Have you? Anyone? Not much? No. When I was little, I saw this movie, Tamil movie actually. It's Kamal Hassan's movie. So he he basically what happens is um, he has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend is a dancer, and she dances on the stage, and then he's also a dancer, but he's not classical dancer. That her girlfriend is classical dancer. Anyway, I'm going to the story because let's see how it connects. So she goes on the stage and starts dancing Bharatanatyam. And then he sees that, and then suddenly he just sees somebody else's face. The flash of different face comes in front of him, and he gets dizzy and he gets like disturbed, and then he goes. Then after that, they go to psychiatrist, and then they do hypnotism, hypnotize him, and the memory lane goes back to the previous life where his girlfriend in previous life, not this one, a different one, was also a dancer, classical dancer. Actually, not just the girlfriend's wife, actually, was classical dancer. And this man, I mean, the hero, was um, killed by his wife's brother, something like that. So now that he remembers that, he wants to take revenge. That's how the movies go. But anyway, otherwise the story will be too blunt if they become Krishna conscious and then just like forgive everybody. Nobody will like it. So he just takes revenge. It's like it's very impelling force. Actually, it's very impelling force to some people have phobia. Some people have this, different kinds of phobia, fear of fire, fear of water, these kind of things. This all, where is it coming from? Nobody burnt them alive now, but it's coming from somewhere else. Nobody drowned them right now. They're living, but this fear is coming from somewhere else. So this we think this is all innocent, but at the end, what happens is something or the other catches us, and then we carry it forward to again fix the things. We keep wanting to fix the things again and again and again. We never get fixed because it's material world. It just never gets fixed. So somewhere we have to abort this process. It's like another thing is when we travel and we check in our luggage, and the luggage comes in the belt, right? This belt, conveyor belt, until it's turned on, it keeps on taking. If you don't pick up your luggage, it keeps on going round and round and round, right? We have to pick it up and put it down. Only then it comes. Otherwise it's like a conveyor belt. The karma is like a conveyor belt. It keeps going on and on and on and on and on. We have to jump out of the belt. Basically, we have to pick ourselves up and put ourselves outside the belt. And the process is somehow or other including Krishna in our life. If we somehow or other, progressively, little more, little more, little more, so including Krishna in our life, that's the way. So why? Because, he has the power, basically. That's why he has the power, yeah, to extricate us from this endless cycle. And Prabhupada goes into describing, transmigration, and he also explains how this coming out of the chain or the cycle happens only in human life. It's not that common in animal life. I mean, it's very rare, unless this dog meeting Lord Chaitanya or the elephant, serving Guruvayur, the Lord. Like, they have some special souls, or the monkeys of Vrindavan, some those kind of like special souls, regular. Otherwise, in general, animals are not able to come out of the cycle. They go through evolution. But for us, evolution has to be spiritual evolution. Others will also end up in the same place again. So that's what Prabhupada describes the purport. So first point that he describes is about bondage, karma bandhana, and what's the way to cut this karma, the knot, and and how valuable that we need to do it now. No, another example, it's funny example though. I don't know why I got this. I was eating spaghetti one day. Spaghetti or this idiyappam. I don't know if you all know what idiyappam, you can't find the origin of this idiyappam. Even if you unravel the whole thing, right? You can't find that this is where it started. I was thinking like karma is like that. You can backtrack to some extent, but it's so intricate. It's all over the place. It's so intricate. So we can't like unravel piece by piece and say, okay, I will get rid of this karma, I will get rid of that. Not like that. We gotta just cut it. When you eat some of this idiyappam, you can't like piece by piece remove, and you just break it basically, right? So it's like always, I mean, I'm giving all kinds of weird examples, but this is what I process, I'm just like that. So when you eat, it's like interesting, right? How it's so intricate, my goodness. So karma is also like that. It's pretty intricate. Actually, it's pretty intricate. I mean, if you know ninth canto, that's also funny thing. Who was that? Ila, right? Um, Sudyumna becomes Ila. man becomes a woman. Oh, that's anyway not transmigration. Forget it. It's identity crisis. Don't worry. Yeah, it's not transmigration. Forget. But Bharat Maharaj is transmigration thing example. But anyway, we know what it is. So then next message that Prabhupada tries to explain is okay, so we say, okay, fine, you come out of karma bandhana, perform Krishna consciousness, all that. But we should know at least what is karma, what is vikarma, what is akarma. Karma is any activity that brings about um, a fruitive result, but it's done under the injunction of scriptures, basically. Someone fasts every Monday to Lord Shiva for some benefit, or someone does Navratri, 9 days of fasting. I used to do that intense 9 days of fasting, uh, just to, I don't know why I did, but anyway, I didn't have any particular desire. I just wanted to do it. That's all. So you just do certain things to get certain benefits materially, but still it is under the scriptural injunction. So it's still binding. So it is called karma. Now, karma means worst karma, basically. It's still for material benefit, but it's whimsical. There's no authority, no injunction, no respect for anything. I want it, I'm going to do it. Period. So it's almost like my way, highway thing. Like I want it, I'm just going to do it no matter what. So that is vikarma, whimsical action. And then akarma. Whenever in Sanskrit, if we put in front of a word, it nullifies the rest of the word. Interesting, right? With this one letter, you can nullify the whole thing. Karma means no karma, basically. So the activities that do not entangle us or bind us to any karma. That is equal to devotional service, basically. So three kinds of actions: karma, vikarma, akarma. Karma is fruitive activity, but done under scriptural injunction. Vikarma is fruitive activity, no regard for scriptures, whimsical action. Akarma is, ultimate scriptural injunction of worshipping Krishna, and which relieves us of our karma. So this is what Prabhupada explained. This is from Bhagavad Gita, basically 4th chapter, but Prabhupada quotes it here, explains it here. Okay, then, this one I really like actually. Somehow I really like how Prabhupada brings this interesting principles. He brings up in the last, if you remember, in the first mantra, in the purport, he brings up capitalism and communism, right? In this purport, Prabhupada brings up this concept of isms. Um, we can just like go from, of course, everything is not an ism, but then we can just go from, I used to draw for myself. I'm like this visual person anyway. So draw a little circle and then just put yourself, me, myself. Then second circle, who all fit in the second circle? We can just enter who all are fitting in the second circle. Maybe our immediate family, our immediate friends, something like that. Then the third circle, maybe a community or little extended family. Then the fourth circle. Then we think about perhaps our state or our language, our same language people, something, to that effect. Then if you just go around one more circle, it's like maybe a nationality, things. And then one more circle, okay, cross the boundary of nationality, then you become humanitarianism. And then, okay, around that little bit more, veganism, perhaps a tiny bit, right? But what about when you do humanitarianism, you don't care about, all these animals, right? You just, doesn't matter what happens to them, go send them to the slaughterhouse, no problem, right? But then when we do veganism, then it goes a little bit further. So basically, the entire thing is, where is the center? Center is still me. From there, it expands. So Prabhupada tells that it is extended sense gratification at subtler levels, until even the highest level of philanthropy is not done in Krishna consciousness, in consciousness of Krishna. It becomes about me. I'm a good person, kind of thing. It's like the identity becomes so invested in it. Not that we shouldn't have any identity, but we should also have a positive identity beyond this world, not just within this world. So this is what Prabhupada describes, that even here the Ishavasya principle is not there. One is thinking only about oneself, not about Krishna. If you put Krishna in the center, then it becomes different trajectory altogether. Because we are seeing everything and everyone in relation to Krishna. So then the whole vision is different that time, It's very hard though. We can practice it. Yeah, I kind of find it like very hard. Always he's in the center. Okay, what am I supposed to do in the corner all the time? I mean, anyway, it's okay. It just happens. But among his lap. Yeah, I mean, seriously, the more we give him space, the more he occupies also, Krishna. Not that we shouldn't give him space. I'm just complaining at this point, but I'm just saying that he needs a lot of space in life. When he's okay initially, we give a little bit, he's really okay. But then he wants to squeeze in a little bit more, squeeze in a little bit more, Then we, okay, fine, take the seat, just give up and then sit down. Then he's peaceful. Maybe that's what makes us too peace. Maybe makes us peaceful too. I'm still figuring it out. But it's interesting to know the principle. So, these three are the primary messages that is described or discussed in this particular mantra. So then the goals of this mantra primarily are to understand our temporary position in this life and to increase our desire for eternal life. Understand in the sense to look at it, look at temporariness of this world. Even within services, everything seems to be quite temporary, actually. It's even when you do some service, when you engage in some even Krishna conscious services, even services are temporary. Don't you feel like that sometimes? 1 year you get it, the other year somebody else. It's like keeps on passing, and then you do for 10 years, and 11th year you don't have any more done out of it, So it's like everything seems to be quite temporary in this world, including Krishna's service. But only difference is the result of Krishna's service is our attraction to Krishna. If that increases, even the service falls apart, the goal is achieved. What it's supposed to give us, we have received it. Any service, anything is supposedly have to increase our attraction to Krishna. So if the result is achieved, Guru and Krishna, when we say Krishna, it's like the whole entourage, basically. So when the result is achieved, even if the service falls apart, we're still okay. I remember 2007 or something, before my marriage, I was asked to hear a bunch of 8 cassettes. I don't know if you all know cassettes, audio cassettes, old style. In Walkman, you put it in here. So I was given 8 cassettes to hear on Grihastha Ashram. I didn't really care about the entire deal. Only 2 things. One thing actually, I would say, made an impact in that entire thing, entire cassette, 8 hours maybe, is the speaker said, if we get a service, don't get attached to the service, but get attached to someone or whoever gave you the service, meaning the empowerer of the service. It was a very wise sentence, I felt. So the speaker probably realized that even the services don't last. Either we fall apart or the system falls apart. One or the other happens. so therefore, just get attached to this empowerer of the service. Then it's like Guru and Krishna, basically. That way we don't feel dejected when something is not given to us. Even within Krishna consciousness, things can be like that. So anyway, so yeah, this verse just makes me think. These exercises I did long back. Whenever I, kind of facilitate this course, then I start doing this for myself. What all things are temporary in our life right now? And what are our attempts to link ourselves to ourself, basically, our real self? And once we can do something like this, then how about linking others also as their real selves? Sorry about the typo there. How about linking others also? Or in our mind, how about seeing them as their real selves, as spirit souls? Even though the actions are all over the place sometimes. And then how are we linking with Krishna as our eternal friend? I mean, these are all some reflections, some things, some thoughts. What all are temporary in our life right now? If we list, there'll be a whole bunch of them, actually. A whole bunch of them. Almost everything, almost like this laptop. And I mean, the list is very exhaustive, actually. Every single thing, from the small to the big, from the most commonly used to the most rarely used, and just something that we like, something that we really don't like, everything seems to be temporary. It shakes us sometimes, right? It's like very, we study so hard, and then even this knowledge is temporary. You know, yeah, very interesting. We get a job and we somehow work like donkeys, and that is also temporary. Nothing matters anymore in this world, actually. No value, very less value. I wouldn't say no value, very less value for everything. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. And um, yeah, I'm also processing a lot of things. I'm in a different contemplative space today, but yeah. Well, that's it for mantra 2. How about that? Mantra 2 is about reward for following or accepting Krishna's proprietorship over things, over this world, over living entities, over everything, and trying to be mindful of that and live our life, basically. This, yeah, yeah, yeah. Very interesting, though. Yeah. Okay, now, anything, any discussion, any sharing? Anything you felt strange or I can't relate to this?
I really liked what you said about like I like when you're talking about service being temporary in that either we fall apart or the system falls apart. I was like that was like mind blowing. Like it's like puts everything into perspective because I think sometimes it's easy to separate, oh, if like or like get attached to service really easily. And
Yeah,
when it does fall apart, it's like, oh, what did I do wrong? How can I like get it back
reclaim it. Yeah,
or how do I attach myself to a new service?
yeah,
I don't know. It's just like food for thought to think about how like what are my services in my life now and how like
yeah,
how integrated are they into my life? Like if they were gone, what would how would like life be? Like how
yeah.
I replace it with?
Oh my God, I'm struggling with that too, actually. I'm just processing a whole lot of things because something that I mean, this conditioned pattern, I mean, I have been observing something that has played a role in my um, Krishna gave an opportunity, and because of my whatever it was, it can be seen as a spiritual evolution, but it can also be seen as a material conditioning. Both ways it works. The same situation to some extent, or it's a mixture. That's a safe way to put it. It's a mixture. And then Krishna gave some opportunity, and I passed it on. And then later I feel, oh my God, why did I do this? That kind of feeling, like you missed something kind of a thing. I'm like, my goodness, can weigh very heavy sometimes, some of these things. And then the question comes, what did I do wrong? Like this, Satya, like you said, that's when why did I do this? What did it? I mean, this whole series of questions that cannot be repaired sometimes. Some things are irreversible sometimes. And then that's when it becomes even more heavier, actually, when things are not reversible. But still, I guess, yeah, it's a work in progress. Yeah, it's interesting. And certain things cannot be substituted according to my calculations right now. I don't think I have the capacity to substitute certain things, but it's nice. It's interesting. Yeah, Krishna keeps working with us all the time. It's nice. Yeah.
Very cool. I was thinking about the circles that you were talking about with how, our worldview builds centered on us.
Uh,
And then I was thinking about what you said about like what Prabhupada says on how that's just you're just continuing the sense gratification even if it's at subtler levels. So even if you think of it as philanthropy or some charity work or something, it's still centered on you. And I think it was always very confusing to me to like try to understand Prabhupada's way of answering like problems in the world, like, poverty, or like, just political things, or like with Krishna being put in the center rather than like, oh, go and like he did do food for life and things, but it wasn't always very like, go and try to get yourself doing activism or protests and things. It was more like, tell people to connect with who they are as, put Krishna in the center basically. So I was just thinking about that at like a social level.
yeah. 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 Nice thought. Yeah, when um I used to, when I was growing up, I mean, from young age, somehow I was into yoga and meditation for some random reason. I don't know, from 7, 8 years old, I used to do a lot of meditation. I don't know what I was doing in that meditation. I didn't sleep though. I was just sitting there. I could sit for hours in front of a lamp, and whoever my Ishta Devata at that point of time was, in the college. And so it gave some sense of ability to think, I thought, outside of me. But to the max, to the at the utmost, where could I go with that ability to come out of myself was some level of philanthropy. So I would be regularly visiting a few orphanages and regularly doing something, some service there, or some help, something, or some donation. It was like it was my lifestyle for a long time. I adopted a few. There was like there is a, I don't know, they I even forgot the organization name. It's like across the world, actually. I adopted a few kids for their education, this, that, everything. I started doing it like when I was 21. I just did the whole thing as soon as I got my first salary. It was something, and then meanwhile do something somewhat spiritual. I didn't care whether it was this one or that one, the other one. I would go everywhere, like church or this one, that one, anywhere. I felt something good was happening. But then finally Krishna came. And then I felt like, oh wow. Oh my God, because this whole thing had, I mean, I did something good, but then it gave me a very strong identity of being a good person. Very strong identity of being like, it built like a shell, it kind of gave me a like a mold, where I had just molded myself into that image. And then add Krishna, it was fine. I mean, I didn't have doubts. Then comes, I gave up everything at once. 2 weeks, I gave up everything. I said, okay, fine, you take it. Now let me just worship you, something like that. But after that comes when everything starts crumbling, because all my ideologies, they were not horrible, but they were not absolute truth also, you know. So even the bestest of this world is not enough for a spirit soul to be satisfied, you know. But no wrong in doing some things what we want to do, but then it just with an understanding that this is not going to satisfy me. I still got to look for Krishna. Something, yeah, it's interesting. And this extended sense gratification discussion comes somewhere also, maybe in NOI, I don't remember. Somewhere else also. Prabhupada brings it up a few different times, actually. Yeah. After coming to this country, I was thinking there's so many humanitarian acts and this and that. But then all kinds of animals get slaughtered. And the only animals at the most which are saved are cats and dogs. Rest everybody can go to hell. It's like that. It's really sad. But then when Krishna is not in the picture, then one thinks about oneself. Anyway, it's okay. I guess the world is revolving around that principle. We just have to figure out how to engage with this world and at the same time try to be in our real self, real skin, real, yeah, yeah. Anyways, yeah, interesting. Anything else? Any other discussion points? Anything? Oh, off video buddies. Okay.
I was also thinking the same that Satya said that like Prabhupada was saying, or maybe it wasn't Satya, but this ism. Uh,
Uh,
when I was reading NOI, I think Prabhupada said the same thing, and I had a problem with it initially reading. I was like, Prabhupada is saying, don't be a part of humanitarian things, don't be a part of philanthropy. And I think growing up, it's like I just growing up in America, you'd think, okay, the best way to give back
yeah, yeah.
is through charity. The
Yes,
the give back is, donate to Red Cross, give people who have been put in more poverty areas or areas that aren't able to live as quote unquote nicely as the first world countries. We should
yeah.
we should give money to them or we should give help to them.
Mm,
And so when I initially heard that or read that, I didn't it took me some time to understand where Prabhupada is coming from.
mm. Yeah,
Um,
it sounds narrow-minded almost.
yeah, yeah. It's like only, Krishna is everything, no need to do anything else.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, I just felt like this, that's not, they can't be right.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
supposed to be serving people.
yeah.
That's our, like, that's our duty, right? To serve other living entities.
Yes,
This way, we're not serving, we're just focusing on our own self.
yes. That
And
also becomes almost self-centered at one point.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was a little hypocritical, and maybe I'm still struggling with that a little bit, but
Mm,
I think it makes sense that the whole point of that is I'm still the center, I'm still the person. I'm
yeah,
not thinking of myself as a soul or as a part and parcel of Krishna. It's more I'm doing something for myself, my own karmic reactions.
Yeah.
It's not benefiting my spiritual goal
Yeah.
of this
And
entity.
because we are in that space, it also does not benefit the other person's spiritual goal.
Yeah.
Because we are coming from that space. So what we have only we can give. So, but at the same time, when we have some inclination like that, we just have to become creative in how to do this, perhaps,
Mm,
how to do this in a way that it will benefit me and the other person that I'm trying to benefit them beyond their bodies. Is there any way that I can do like that? That's something that is a good, probably something that we could think, I guess.
mm,
Because like you said, you naturally feel compassion, or naturally you feel that I have so much in this. What am I going to do with so much? I mean, even if we don't have so much, but we feel comparatively, relatively, we may have so much,
yeah.
you know?
I also,
Yeah.
as you were saying, the service, like when we serve, it's actually temporary, so we shouldn't connect ourselves with the service, but with the person who gave us the opportunity to serve. Right? That's what you were saying?
That's what
Or
I heard. Yeah.
okay. Um, yeah, I started thinking about like the utmost service in this world is to chant.
Yes.
And so,
That service will never fall apart.
yeah, okay, all right. That sounds good.
Because that's one service that doesn't fall apart, actually.
Okay,
Chanting, hearing, reading, these things don't fall apart that easily.
okay.
Because they are very much, even nobody is there, we can still do it.
Mm,
But services that I mean as actually services is like temple things, or like playing a role in a community, or
ah,
taking on some responsibility. um, Things like that may fall apart.
okay.
Yeah, the core service as such will not fall apart, because there's a difference, like something that chanting, hearing, reading, how they are intrinsically connected is they are directly connected to our mode of service.
Mm,
But the other things have layers. You have to keep on reminding yourself that you are a servant. Otherwise, that can take over, like being a leader or something. It can take over. Power can take over even our subtlest possibility, like consciousness, right?
mhm,
So we got to be that needs more chanting, more hearing, more reading if one wants to be like in that position.
mhm.
Yeah, this service will not fall apart. We can always hold on to this one.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just a little confused.
yeah, yeah. Anything, Emangi?
No.
Okay. All right. So then, oh, we finished early. Okay. Um, do you think we can do next week also around this time? Is it possible for all of you? For the next couple of weeks, maybe. What is the time? What's the date today? Today is 22. 29. Yeah. Oh, 29th only. Fifth week, we have to be off. It is Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so next week we'll do on at 3 p.m. if it's possible. I hope. I don't know. Yeah, you both are okay. And I think someone else do a flying thumbs up. Was it Hemangi? Okay.
No.
No,
I'm not flying.
No, you said thumbs up.
thumbs up. Your thumbs were
Oh,
up were flying. Yeah. Okay. Okay,
I'm
you
not trying to.
Akshaj, okay. All right. Pradyumna, you're available next week?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, then we'll do next week at around this time. We'll do the next verse next month. I'm going pretty slow. I'm not somehow feeling like pushing it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very, very much. Love you all. Hi, Bo. Okay.
Thank you so much.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय हरि हरि, हरि
Hey,
बोल,
Mom.
हरि बोल।